It's kind of becoming a little bit of a bogey side, you know, for the side of EDG, that they do so well. Even in the year they won the World Championship, they weren't able to beat Top Esports in the regular season. So it just can sometimes get into your head a little bit as we do jump into picks and bans. And that Maokai, you talked about not getting through the picks this particular time around. And again, we'll see what EDG want to do. They're kind of pigeonholed, you would imagine, into getting the Draven, the Milio, and the Nico. We'll see if the Draven sticks up because, like, you know, Leave did mention it in his interview that, you know, the last time they played, Jackie Love just kind of overwhelmed him, and that is a champion that can overwhelm you.
I wonder if this is the game that you gamble it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's always a game where you do throw out, like, you kind of throw up the gauntlet and see what happens. Not like Top Esports picked it in their last series when it was available either. I like the Top Esports adaptation from Game 1. Game 1, they didn't ban out the Cassante pick. They did ban out the Ahri, so not going to give this one over for free because they know, you know, there's things in their mind that are more worthwhile to first pick than this champion, which maybe they should reconsider after how well Wayward piloted it last game. We're going to see now. Yep, Draven is left open. Vi is taken away. So I think Wukong would be something that kind of comes to mind here as something that can be picked up first now that both Maokai and Vi are off the table.
Yeah, Wukong feels like it's the natural kind of order to things, but we'll see if they end up kind of working towards that. I mean, look, it would be really weird to not take it, especially with the jungle pool being as pinched as it is. The Cassante being banned by Top Esports shows you just how much respect they want to put onto it. They don't feel like they can first pick it or even early pick it, so they have to let that one go into the bans, unfortunately for them. Now we get to see where EDG want to go, and if they want to try and lock in their bot lane, or even just go towards the mid lane. You know, get the Annie, get the Viego, look for a big, strong duo.
Yeah, I think the Annie's definitely a good shout. Going to pick up AD carry here as well, as it seems like they're very content and happy to just keep throwing and leave onto Ophelia Sudi. And now I feel like it's when we're going to find out if they just want to default back to something like a Jinx or maybe a Xayah, or who knows, maybe because you have so many options open and like Jinx, Xayah, if they were willing to bring out like a Draven, you could even leave AD carry to second rotation because you're not as scared of the pool getting pinched. It would mean you'd probably go for top lane here if that was the case. You'd probably opt into a Sion, or if you're like afraid of the Gwen coming back out from the side of EDG, even if there are answers and maybe not the most blind pickable champion, you know, making sure that Wayward doesn't falter the same way he did in Game 1. No, Gragas.
Wow, Gragas top. So taking something that can mitigate maybe a little bit of that top lane pressure. But I mean, I feel like you could just go Lulu here for Mako and leave that extra little bit of security coming into this game. And, you know, again, there's just so many things to ban in that top side that either tank or carry that there's just not really a lot else to kind of go for. Well, no, want to go with the Gnar. Feeling like Ala might want to have a bit of a stronger kind of setup there. We did see with Zika earlier today on LNG, much happier kind of, you know, getting in those big team fights, and the big Gnar ultimates can be huge.
Yeah, and Top Esports seems like we're confident in terms of the AD carry pull in the bot lane being wide enough so they're not afraid of it getting pinched too far. When it comes to EDG for junglers, you've already highlighted the big one that comes to mind, which is the Viego. You would expect that to be taken away by TES, and then you're really wondering where Jedge is going to go. Game 1, we had the Sejuani, but not having the same, like, pairings that you typically do, so you think, okay, that one probably not going to come through. And then it leads to, again, what kind of flavor Jedge is willing to show, because we've had some junglers willing to go towards lethality champions, like the Kazakhs that we had a lot of at MSI. We've seen some, like, Nocturne gameplay, but with Top Esports not even showing an immobile AD carry yet, like, that's probably not something you're really thinking of for EDG. So, yeah, I feel like a bit of an interesting situation for EDG to save jungle for the second rotation.
Interesting, but might work out in the end. We'll see where they kind of want to bring the last few bans. Actually, going to go with the Lucian. So the Draven makes it all the way down, as does the Jinx. Right now, Top Esports not wanting to show their cards in terms of where their bot lane is going to be.
And now that you've banned Lulu, I really think giving one ban towards jungle, there it is. You ban the Viego. Makes sense, because again, it really is the last just obvious pick left open. Now for EDG, I feel like this is probably where you show, and you could even leave. You could either like pick something like a Rakan here and then deny the Xayah Rakan combo is a possibility, or you take jungle and you look to counter pick support and try to give Leave and Mako an even stronger laning phase.
Well, it looks like they're going to go with option 1 over your 2. Get Mako onto this Rakan. Good hard engage. Good stop the Xayah Rakan combination, like you mentioned. Breaks up that Lovers duo. And we'll see. Lots to kind of
Just
still
do it.
come out of this one here.
Machine,
Yeah, I
make
mean,
him
they're still
pick it.
waiting to see. Make a pick Draven.
Yeah, make him do it. Come on, you use your Irishness.
I mean, you can go you can go Draven Blitzcrank here. That wouldn't be too bad, to be honest with you, to be able to kind of build out the Aphelios. I might be god tier caster right
Actually,
now.
did
if
you
they
do it?
lock
Did
in
you do it,
both of
Asheen?
these.
You did it, Asheen.
I did do it! I am
Everyone
him.
thank Asheen right now. Oh!
I'm going to be doubly right.
Oh!
Please make me... No, go back to the Blitzcrank. I want to be doubly right. No! I want to be doubly right.
You know what?
This is the correct play, but I want it to be doubly right.
You've already done enough for the people. You've already done enough for the people, but are you going to do a little bit more? Oh, that's
I'll
even
take a
better.
pike. I'll take a
That
pike.
is
Pike's even better.
better.
Pike's even better. That's an improvement on what I anticipated.
Yeah, there we go. We already highlighted some of the potential jungle options for JJ, Kha'Zix being one of the ones we mentioned. That would give them, we already know who his prime target is going to be on the opposite side, and there it is. Kha'Zix brought out for JJ, Jackie Love and Mark on the Draven and Pike. We know this game is all about bot lane, even more so than our usual games. I still remember back to 2020 Worlds. I sadly can't remember who the opponent was in their group, but I just remember them picking the Draven and just constantly going back to that bot lane, diving over and over again and having like a 10k. Hell, Jackie Love said that so many times throughout his career, right? Pick Draven, dive bot over and over again, have like a 10k gold lead to like 10 minutes. It is just great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely feels like something that he's been able to do. It's almost like a tale as old as time, Jackie Love and Draven. But we'll see now where these two teams go. This is going to be the final game of the day, final game of this series. A final game to maybe see if EDG can beat. Because think about it, this is the thing. This is the funny thing. If EDG lose this game, we go another year potentially without them beating Top Esports in the regular split. That's kind of the crazy thing about this. So can they break the curse? Can they break the streak? Will EDG be able to kind of quell their demons on the other side of this? Top Esports, they need to start building momentum. They need to start finding out what makes this team so scary. You look at the names, but names are not enough. Words are not enough. Actions are needed. As we're going to jump onto the rift for the third and final time of this series, and for the final time today between these two titans of the LPL.
And I'm really curious to see where Jackie Love goes with the build. Typically you do still start off with that Essence Reaver, but then you can either go to Ghost Blade, give you more like early burst, that movement speed coming out so you can chase people down, or you can go like standard crit, go towards an Infinity Edge. Not a lot of tanks on the opposite side, so something like a Ghost Blade could be cool, seeing that come out. But hey, Jackie Love's the Draven Master. We're just going to be here to watch and learn.
Waiting for the Master to tell us everything. Curious to see if the Kha'Zix will have as much of an impact as we have maybe seen there. I actually like this little small adaptation we're seeing from TN. He's actually going for the Blue Smite to get a little bit of extra movement speed coming in and out of brushes and stuff like that to try and catch out maybe the Aphelios. It's actually something that I've seen quite a few times when they're going up against AD or heavy AD carry junglers, that it's kind of like gives you an extra little bit of movement speed to kind of stay in tow with something like a Kha'Zix so you don't just run away from you or anything like that. It's nice to see those little adaptations coming out even this far into a series.
Yeah, I agree. Nice to see what he does do with it. A lot of our attention hopefully going to be towards bot lane, whether in favor of Top Esports or if Jackie Love and Mark just end up kind of getting blown open, and if EDG do put resources down there. I think for EDG's comp, can have a lot of power, right? Anti-stun setting up for Cosmic damage to come out. Same with the Rakan down in that bot lane. You already know Pike and Draven are going to want to play far forward, so can set up for easier ganks. But it also means we're going to have to see how Top Esports' vision game is around this bottom half of the map. Oh, speak of the devil, look at TN.
Yeah, they know. I think they saw him on that ward, I believe. There was a couple of pings going down, so TN already from his Raptors straight into a blue side invade, which means that he knows he can go a bit more aggressively. There is I don't know how he curved the bullet on that particular one, and now Leave in a lot of trouble. One more auto attack would have killed him. He holds onto his heal, he holds onto his flash. He's got 3 pots running, and this is good. Yeah, they got a ward. They got to make sure they know where this Wukong is going to be, because if they don't know where he is, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Mako now getting jumped on a little bit here. The Ignite goes down. He has to flash away. Gets the heal out. The hook is good! And that's what you want to be seeing from Top Esports. Mark and Jackie Love get their combo and get their kill.
Like, they just have this plan down pat. It doesn't matter what iteration of top esports it is. It's like, all right, pick the Draven lane, play aggressively. I love that TN went for the invade, saying, hey, you're not really going to be able to match because if JJ comes, like, our bot lane is pressure, they're going to move first. If you don't come and you look for the cross map, it sets up for plays like that. I'm really surprised that Mako went to go check if TN was here when Leave was so low. Because this was always going to happen in terms of having to blow some of these summoners, but Leave gets caught by Mark, and honestly, just great hook by Mark. Great play coming on the pike so far in these first 3 minutes.
Really, really well done as well, and the big thing as well. Yes, it's a kill, early cash out, not going to mean the most in terms of gold for the Draven. As you can see, he wasn't able to stack up anything. I think the big thing to recognize is the CS. So much of that CS wave was lost to tower. Probably lost 2 waves because it was already crashing as he was trying to go down or get back away. So really strong start for the top esports bot lane. And that's exactly why you picked this lane. It's a hyper kill lane. It doesn't want to Jinx Aphelios sit there for hours and not do anything. It wants to see the action.
And again, TN just going to pretty much ignore his top side and keep just playing heavily around the spot lane. Even if you aren't necessarily looking for kills, just making sure that your bot lane has the freedom to play the way they want. And now we might get a 3v3.
I mean, that's a 2-level difference there. No flash, remember, on to Leave. And Mako gets dragged back. He's trying to use the battle dance to see if he can survive. It's going from bad to worse, Lyric. This is going to be fantastic for top esports fans, but EDG, they're falling apart.
Man, Leave is going to have nightmares. He comes out in the pregame interview saying, hey, last time, Jackie Love and Mark, they pressured us so much. It was so rough. They won last time. And now you come back in. Honestly, EDG, even in game 2, like, they've looked like the better team. Like, the last game, Top Esports had to brawl to be able to win, where EDG had the clean game 1. Now you come into game 3 and you have to face the Jackie Love Draven, and he's just going to imprint this in your memory forever.
I mean, just so difficult to see. Ala taking a much more favorable trade. Wayward might have to flash here. Wayward will probably have to flash. One more boomerang would be good. Ala wants it. He doesn't have the hop. He doesn't hit the boomerang. So flash for flash there. Ala thought he had himself a little solo bolo on the top side.
It was close. Even a nice flash over the cube to be able to be in range to keep trying to bring that one down. And now we're going to see once again, nice TN not getting potentially baited because JJ should be up towards his side after them spotting him down in bot lane.
We'll wait to see now. I'm curious. I imagine it's an Essence Reaver for Jackie Love. I don't think he will go for the Triforce. I like to think maybe he could be a bit crazy. You know, Triforce has received quite a few buffs on this particular patch as Mako. Oh no! Ah! Make it stop, Jordan! Make it stop!
He was supposed to be him, Machine!
He was supposed to be him! He's not him! Oh, Lord, that's upsetting.
That is, and it seems like EDG are like, hey, this isn't how it was meant to be. This isn't how this game and how this series is supposed to go.
There is a pause, and the pause is probably because it did definitely look like he should have went over that side. Yeah. 100% definitely looked like he should have went over, and he didn't. So we might have a little bit of a chrono break on our hands, which means I'm going to sit down because I've been standing for
You know what? You know what would be
forever.
a tragedy? I don't even know if I should say this and will this evil do existence. If, like, for some reason the chrono break couldn't happen, but, like, the bug did exist, and then you would just start the game over again. Oh, my God, that would be a tragedy for top
New
esports.
picks and bans. That would be tragic. That would, in fact, be tragic. But we'll see. We will update you, lovely viewers, as soon as we have any information.
Do you know how much it feels to be Fofo in this game, where everything around you is just kind of burning and falling apart?
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like he, fortunate to lose that game number 2. Again, I feel like if they kill off that jacket, it's the butterfly effect. If Reckless just didn't, you know, auto the Nexus, or did auto the Nexus, or something like that, I think that's the butterfly effect that comes from LEC. It's like if Reckless autos the Nexus, then it doesn't happen. All this different stuff. Anyway, there's all these different things, but we'll see what happens. No update for the moment. We will see what happens now. But again, it did look like, very much so, like the Rakan should have gotten over the wall. So we will see if it was a bug. We'll see if it was... Actually, it looks like is it top esports with the people over them? It doesn't look like it's on EDG.
No, it's EDG. It's Mako reported an issue, and
yes, there it is.
Yeah, we're gonna see how that one pans out.
We're gonna
While I look
investigate.
up to remember what game of Worlds I'm thinking of, might have been Top Esports against. Can't remember if it was DRX or FlyQuest. Both of them were in their group. You know what? Maybe I just wasn't meant to remember. Maybe we aren't meant to go down memory lane. Wait, I'm wrong. It actually wasn't Jackie Love I'm thinking of. So the story had no relevance whatsoever. It was Suni against Team Liquid in 2020 Worlds, where Huanfeng brought out the Draven that I'm thinking of. There it is, Ashin. There it is.
There you go. Happy to always get a little bit of history lesson here with Lyric. As we're gonna see where the investigation leads us, and look, it's very early on in the split. Not really a lot of things to bring up. We can kind of look forward to Top Esports' next few games. They play NIP, TT, then they play Weibo. So Top Esports, I would argue, have a couple of warm-up games, shall we say, before they start hitting into the nitty-gritty that will be like Weibo gaming. Actually, they still continue on that side. FBX, LGD, RNG, and then it doesn't really get difficult for them until about week 4, which is way down the line.
Yeah, it just so they have a bit of time, a bit of reprieve, figure things out. And sorry, I've gone on the ultimate tangent of looking for all the Draven players we have in the league. You know, Rasheen, we're kind of at the point of where it's like, okay, it hasn't been the longest day, it hasn't been the 9 games, but I'm definitely at like my mental capacity. I'm like, okay, who plays Draven in this league? Because we have quite a bit of Draven players these days, if you think about it. Assam, Huanfeng, Jackie Love. Did Leaf play Draven at all?
Don't think so.
That's a question.
I don't believe he has ever played Draven. I can check that.
Do you remember when Jackie Love absolutely dumpstered Viper on Draven, and then Viper went to solo queue and played like 50 games of Draven, and then was able to bring it out in LPL?
Yes.
Those are the kind of arcs that I like.
So, Neve has not played it in LPL, but he has played it in the LDL. So there you go. And the Asia Star Challengers Invitational as well. So
another potential Draven player.
Yes, potential one. He is 6-3 in the champion. Though he's lost. His last 3 came out of his last 4 games, if that makes sense. His last 3 losses. The 3 losses came from the last 4 games. So he's maybe not as confident about it as maybe others should be. But I mean, Draven's just one of those picks. It's kind of like the weird mini meta we get where it's like it has to be a Felios or Jinx, it has to be this, it has to be that, and it's like, okay, well then we're going to throw in a complete curveball, go for the hyper aggressive comp, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if it works out like this, I mean, that's why you can't just kind of fall into old habits, I suppose, of just kind of saying, yep, this is how it's going to go, this is how everyone's going to draft, because that's the way everyone just drafts, you know? You kind of need to be a bit more on top of it sometimes.
It's always been nice throughout league history when it feels like there haven't been enough pocket pick Draven players who could really pick them out. Like in like LPL back in the day, right? You think back to Snake, where they had Crystal. You think back to people like Freeze over in Europe. Did NA have any big Draven players? Like there must have been someone. There we go.
I mean,
the biggest Draven player of them all.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, biggest Draven player of them all.
I'm not wrong, but yeah, there's a couple of different Draven players. I remember, we still do, but obviously, like I remember when like LPL was kind of known just having like these couple of one tricks. You still have Abel with his Samira, which hasn't looked incredible for the last while, but still something that if gets a couple of buffs or two, definitely something that he could bring out. I'm trying to think of other like pocket picks, not even like picks they're known for, but like genuine pocket picks that never. Really
I remember when 2019. I wasn't in the league casting the league yet, but you were. But I was still a big fan, and we had Windy. We had Windy back on V5,
That's right.
and then Mo would swap. And Windy was the ultimate Yasuo player, so he'd just go play top Yasuo and then switch to mid and play mid Yasuo, and that was it. And it was pretty great.
Yeah, we had Windy who literally played the Windy champion. That was good.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm trying to think of like, I remember for the longest time, Ala or Natural back in his day was like kind of a Camille like one trick, like didn't really go anywhere else with that particular that thing. And Venice looked very good on it, but he's definitely developed as a player over the last few years and matured, shall we say. Also,
Ashin, we have another update for everyone out there. We're to pause right now. Mako looked like he should have gone over a wall and he didn't. And, he reported the issue. So our update as of now is that we'll have another update soon. So please bear with us, because you know what we're going to do? We're going to hang out. We're just going to talk. Good.
Yeah.
Gonna be a bit of a podcast. We're gonna look at the player reactions.
We can make it into a bit of a podcast. Yeah, we have been told we will get an update in about 5 minutes, so hopefully we'll get something soon. But for the moment we can. What are you looking forward to this split? What when summer split kind of rolls around? What do you look forward to?
Like, this isn't even a question. I'm here for RA. I've already reached out to RA, like, hey, all you do it here on broadcast. Hey, RA, how do I get a jersey? How do I represent you and be as biased as I could possibly be on broadcast? Because I'd love to do it. I can be a mascot for the team. We've seen some teams have cool mascots. Your mascot would be me, which isn't that cool, and people would be like, why is this random guy your mascot? But I'm open to it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could be the rare atom.
Exactly.
You could be him.
I think, like, unironically, other than Mole, seeing how the roster plays out will be fun, right? Having someone like, even if Mole gets subbed out, having Strive in, and then seeing, hey, how does Xiaoshu develop? Because Xiaoshu was an absolute stud in my mind in spring, came out of nowhere, still killed everyone left and right, and then Feather had a really good debut. So I'm excited to see where this RA team ends up, and I hope that me loving them doesn't send them straight to 16th or 17th place.
Yeah, that would be a bit depressing, to say the least.
It would.
I'm curious about your thoughts though on a particular thing. It's slight tangential to what you talked about. You said you're gonna be like super biased towards RA. That's fine. What is your opinion on biased casters? Because I love it. I think biased casters are awesome. I think it's so much fun.
The thing that we should steal from like old wrestling is like a heel and face commentator. Right now, you should be on EDG, and I'm like, no, Fofo, you suck. Don't do that. Top Esports are winning, and then and then you do the reverse, and you say that's a rookie, and then it's just great. It's just yeah, big support. I love it. Bias commentary, bias in general is the way to go.
One of the greatest calls is like Kobe. Kind of said the faithful shall be rewarded, or I never doubted them and all that kind of stuff like that. Like you need bias. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry if I will say now, this is a coverall forever. If I'm casting an LPL team at an international, I will be biased towards the LPL team.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
How dare you?
You know what, Asheen? I get it because, people out there still think you're not Irish. So, you know what? If you're not Irish, you might as well do what you want.
People still attribute my gala call that I did with Dagda to Captain Flowers, which I find even more hilarious.
Yeah.
I went onto the comments on it because I was like reliving it, and I was like, oh, that was such a good call. It was so much fun. So glad I had Dagda with me for that. And then someone's just like, who's the caster on the comments? It's like, oh, that's Captain Flowers. He's the GOAT. I'm like, what the fuck, man? That's just like insane, like just unnecessary. Like,
I do. I do want to confirm for people out there, Sheen is Irish. Just so people know.
Just about.
Look at our players, man. Look at them waiting for this game to start. I guess EDG would look a bit more depressed. If you are just tuning in now, wondering why you're listening to us talking, you're like, casters, please start the game. EDG were getting messed up by Draven and Pike. The potential bug happened, and here we are, and EDG are not because Draven and Pike.
Usually, I obviously this is not confirmed, but usually when we take this kind of time, the players like to have a nap. They're not allowed to talk to each other then, but usually when there's this kind of time on it, it's generally a chrono break kind of situation. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. We got plenty of time to kind of go in for this one here, and I mean, look, if you're a top esports fan, you're hoping it's as is, or at least if you're top esports, you're hoping it's definitely not a remake, because if it's a remake, you got to restart your fantastic start, and you got to try and figure out. It might be a ban on HYCAN, it might be a ban on it being in the game. The whole draft has to rechange. However, if it's just a chrono break and we just need to go back to a couple of seconds before Mako did not get over the wall, then you're still in a pretty damn good position.
Yeah, as Mako, I don't know. That was a very weird one. And now I'm just sitting here. I'm thinking about a lot of things, Sheen. Thinking, all right, I wonder how Rookie's restaurant is doing. Rookie opened a restaurant.
Yeah,
what was that, last year? It was might have been the year before.
What kind
he
of
opened a restaurant. I believe he opened a Korean restaurant in Shanghai. I think it's Shanghai. Can you imagine getting served by Rookie? Because I believe Rookie was actually actively working in the restaurant the day it opened. It's like, I just got served by one of the goats.
The goat by the goat? We just have a slight update. It has been exactly 5 minutes. The head ref is still checking the in-game issue, so we don't have an update. We'll have another update once the head ref has figured out what the hell went down.
I do love updates that are just saying, hey, we'll get another update, just like how I love announcements that are there to announce announcements. Which we won't really go deep in.
I hate announcements of announcements. I think
no.
they're really,
you know, we won't go deep in the rabbit hole of this because, you know, it's maybe not our place to talk about, but like the TSM's announcement of an announcement of like moving, it's like, hey, cool. True. Announcements of announcements are the way to go.
Yeah, maybe. It's I don't know. I feel like it's one of those. It's like a to be continued. I get very annoyed about that. Got very annoyed about that recently on something that I'm not going to discuss because it's technically a spoiler. But,
you know, things to be continued is fine. You know what I don't like? When things just don't end and just disappear, like, in the middle of being made. A good example, Hunter x Hunter is a manga. It just disappeared. It went out the window, and we're just like, hey, where is this? We don't know. Black Clover's an anime. Bam, just ended, disappeared. Where is it? I don't know. A lot of things like that.
Black Clover not going on? Is it not still happening?
Like, I think a movie's coming out soon. The Beatles as a band, you know, they might have gotten old and, you know, some of them, you know, rest in peace, things like that, but could have been more great Beatles music made in like the 60s. To the end.
You're absolutely right. Black Clover did end. Oh, I couldn't get into Black Clover. Your man just kept shouting. This is very unnecessary shouting right at the start.
They're all the same.
Do you have a shonen that you go to? Your go-to shonen anime?
Yu Yu Hakusho. Does that count as a shonen? Is that a shonen?
I mean, it was one of the OGs,
our tournament animes shonen.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the OGs, right? Like, it was one of the OG shonen anime.
Oh, I rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho every year.
Really? God damn.
Every year.
Dude, I'm not, look, to each their own, but that anime does not hold up very well.
It holds up. It holds up.
No, it does not. I'm sorry.
As a man
some anime
who puts
are timeless,
beans
but that
on
one...
toast, your opinion.
Hang on. Whoa. Hang on. That's British culture. I will have you know that we are not known for that here in Ireland. How dare you? How dare you?
Zing.
Oh my lord. You can give that guff to Munchables, to Jamada, to Nightmare, but you cannot give it to me.
You know, to be fair, I actually even enjoy it. Like beans on toast, in theory to me, sounded like, why would you do that? It didn't sound good. Then I did it. I'm like, this is solid. This is solid. So, you know what? I'm glad I insulted you in a way I didn't even intend to.
Yeah. I mean, you had Irish cuisine. It's not very good, to be honest with you. But we had a lot of cool, like, spins on Chinese restaurants, which were, like, kind of cool.
You know the
like
most confusing thing ever talking about food, and this goes for everyone out there, like, if you go to Irish pubs in a lot of like places in the world, like anywhere, like we went in China, went in America, went here and there. For some reason, all Irish pubs in countries that aren't Ireland serve burritos, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, you told me.
It makes no sense. Yeah,
we went to an Irish bar in Shanghai that served burritos. I remember.
And that was the specialty dish. That was like the main dish.
That was like, this is why you come here. This is why you're here. You have to have a burrito from Ireland. I mean, look, I'm all for it. Burritos are great. Mexican cuisine in general is like top tier in my opinion.
It's also one of the things that you go anywhere else in the world, which is not the same. Which is not the same.
Yeah, that's true.
People just don't know how to do Mexican cuisine elsewhere.
Do you know what's mad as well? I always like, there's always ideas like, oh, you go to China, you go to Japan, Korea, whatever it is. And like, I always get this mad feeling of like, I want to try the McDonald's, or I want to try like the fast food. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to try things like that because it's just like, how different is it? Because like, most of the fast food chains in America are way different to the ones in Europe. Like, not even close.
Oh, fast food is better elsewhere than it is here, even if a lot of it started here. And maybe that's what we can do out there. You know, if you're out there, you're bored right now, you don't want to keep hearing us talk, you're waiting for the games. You tweet us right now, and you send us, you're like, if you've traveled, you send us your McDonald's tier list from different countries. If you haven't traveled, you just send us your fast food tier list. I'm down to read some fast food tier lists right now.
Go on. S tier. We'll go by American standards. So we'll start with your S. Who's your S?
My S?
Who's your S? You can only have one S. Who's your S? Clear Love, getting some love in the crowd. Got a spotlight on him.
Tough.
2 spotlights. That's 2 of them putting the spotlight on him.
Clear Love. What an absolute OG. I still remember when he got subbed in for his birthday. That was a great time. What was that, 2021? 2021 when he randomly got subbed in?
Yeah. Came back for a stint.
Yeah, if anyone wants to go back and watch Clearly play again, 2021 randomly got subbed in for a game. There you go.
They do have usually in summer or in the Chinese All-Stars, they usually have like an All-Stars game that's like, you know, all the old ones, MLXG, Uzi, Going. Going may be an OMG fan.
Also, Asheen, we have a big update.
Yes. Do you want to read it, or shall I read it?
You know, you have more of the broadcast voice, so do the honors, sir.
Yes, I will. So, in the just played game, Mako reported a bug where W skills of Rakan could not be used properly. The referee team has made a final decision to confirm that the situation is a bug. Due to the significant impact of this issue on the game progress, the referee team used Chrono Break according to the rules to restore the game to a dead ball state. After judgment, it was decided to go back to 5 minutes, 32 seconds. The game will resume from there. So, we're just waiting for the game to get back to 5 minutes 32. I can't even remember when we stopped playing. It's been a very long time, but we should, quote unquote, be getting into the game relatively soon. I think we've been talking an awful lot of stuff for about...
Okay,
Lord,
so...
I don't even know.
So
How long do you think we did? 10 minutes?
So I went back to check where 532 is. Wait, that's what... Yep, so 532. And luckily, we're not losing anything. It is actually right as Mark is going for Mako. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
So we paused right after the kill at like 540. That'll be great.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. If it's right before he gets caught, so he knows it's coming now. I'm wondering, does he like just make the exact same bug happen? That's my question. You know,
if the same bug happens, my God, I don't know. We might just have to accept. Someone might just need to pat Mako on the shoulder and be like, it gets better, but not today, my friend.
Not today.
Not today.
But I do believe that, you know what? I had a couple of people message me on Instagram asking me where the Last Hit podcast went. This is about as close as it's going to come to this year of
That's true.
It's about as close as you're going to get to the LPL Last Hit podcast. I wasn't even a part of that. That was hysterics, baby.
You know what? And I'm disappointed. We have gotten no fast food tier lists. We are clearly very cloutless over here in the LPL.
I don't have anyone who follows me, and you don't tweet, so I think that's kind of the problem there. You know,
if anything, we should be more relatable then. You know what I mean? You know, you have all these like big awesome people out there, like you know, like Cajal, who might be watching today. Hi Cajal, you handed me a clothes iron once in the LXC studio. Good times. They have tons of clout, which means since he's so awesome and so cool and so popular, you can't relate to him. But us, What do we got? We're just, you know, I could just be walking down the street right now. You might be listening, driving to work. I could be in the car next to you. You have no idea. I'm not that cool. If you're at a 7-Eleven right now with watching this broadcast on your phone, I could also be in that 7-Eleven. I don't know.
Are you okay?
It's a long day, man. I've got 3 series. We're 3 series in.
I feel like you were gonna commit to the clout chasing bit, and then you just went, I can't do it, and then just immediately derailed.
You know what?
I'll do it for you.
It's 3 series today. It's 1 series tomorrow. It was 2 series yesterday. It's never-ending games here. Yeah. And you know what? These guys also have never-ending games. So, you know, big respect to the players.
Absolutely.
Having to play every other day. Ooh, kind of rough.
What time is it where you're at right now? You're mountain time, right?
It's about to be 7 a.m.
Nice. It's about to be 3 p.m. for me. I want to go jump in the ocean. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. It looks like with how some of the players are starting to laugh, that they're going into the same like delirious mental states.
It's even worse for them. They can't talk.
Exactly.
They can't speak to each other because they're not allowed as per the rules. They can't discuss anything. They just have to sit there and hold their concentration for what feels like it's been like 25 minutes. Like, and everyone, I'm sure there's plenty of people in the Twitch chat and everything else, start the game. So it is. We don't want this either. We don't want to sit here talking absolute garbage to you guys, but we have to. It's just part of the job. This is just how it is.
It actually is the best part, Shaheen. So you need to calm down.
I do enjoy it.
Look,
I do enjoy it.
Look at that smile
but
on Rookie's face. Because that tells you if they're going into, like, we'll say mental overdrive. We'll say they're going to Zen Mountain. That's when the peak crazy League of Legends gameplay comes out, and we're going to come out of this pause. We're going to see Mako escape, but then you know what Mark's going to do? He's going to go mid. He's going to go hook the enemy mid laner. He's going to get Fofo. Fofo's going to die. He's then going to go top. And you know what? He's not going to kill Ala, but he's going to do his damnedest. Then he's going to go back bot, and I don't know, maybe then EDG's bot lane can get a 2v2 kill. So, you know what? I just laid out the next 3 minutes and 27 seconds of gameplay for you. You just get to enjoy.
We should, if this ever happens again, because it looks like, oh, never mind. I thought they were getting their hands ready. Never mind. I was gonna say we should just invite like the co-streamers, like Dom and Casual, and just like pool together and just have a random discussion until the game comes back. I don't know how that would work. I don't think that would work at all, but it would be funny.
Let's also bring in people from outside our own sphere. You know, maybe get XQC over in here, and we could get Disguised Toast has entered League of Legends now, and get him over here. But good news, Asheen, we've gotten one person who's tweeted me telling me good fast food, and it was Shimano.
Oh, yeah?
And he said Popeyes and Whataburger. Very good American cuisine. And I will say, I do love Popeyes, and Whataburger, is specifically their fries and their ketchup, absolutely goated.
I don't know. I'm gonna sound so pretentious when I say this. I don't eat fast food that much anymore. Like, I've kind of outgrown it. My body doesn't allow me to anymore. I can't eat them like whatever the hell I want, and it'll be like, I'm fine. It's like my body's like, no, you will pay for your sins.
You know what? You have now moved yourself to the unrelatable list. There you go.
Oh,
Machine,
come
not
on. I am relatable.
Okay.
I'm very
EDG,
relatable.
EDG are laughing now too. So we went from just no one laughing to Top Esports laughing to EDG laughing. This must be a good sign. But actually what this means is the players are both in lobby right now, or I guess they might even still be in game. I actually don't actively know how Chrono Breaking works, because back when I was a coach, we never had to Chrono Break any of our games. But they're very clearly chatting in game with TES, probably giving tons of banter that maybe the Pro View streams would show, but we wouldn't know here.
We would not know. We would not know.
We could make it up.
I mean, if you want to commit to that, I'm very happy to you to do that.
Wayward just typed to Ala and said that he is trash, and that after winning this game, Ala's gonna have to buy him dinner. Bam. Got the lyric stamp of authenticity.
It's worth nothing, but it's there. It's absolutely. Here's a question. Right, we got a bit divisive. What are your go-to toppings on a pizza? You're making your own pizza. What are you putting on it?
Okay,
you can only have three.
It's pepper. Okay, if I only get three, it's pepperoni, spicy sausage, and jalapenos. Easily. I want spicy pizza.
Yeah. Oh, we're going back to us, I believe, or is it back to? I'm sitting down now, so.
You know what? We're gonna find. Oh, it is back to us.
Hi.
Here we are. I don't know if we're staying on us. I don't know if we're going to break. I don't. You know, this is kind of great. You know, we're actually actively part of the adventure. You guys don't know what's going to happen next.
We are.
We also don't know what's going to happen next. And it's kind of a bit of a thrill.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way it goes. We're not quite sure what's happening here now. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to open Twitch chat. I don't have Twitch chat open. I'm going to ask how they got if they see they're kind of going for what pizza toppings they kind of go for. I see a pepperoni, bacon, cheese. I don't know why. Is that extra cheese? Would you say that's extra cheese?
I guess it would depend, right? Is it extra cheese, or maybe they adding like a specialty cheese? Like maybe you're like drizzling some feta or something on top of it, which sounds pretty nice.
I have an unpopular opinion. I quite like 4-cheese pizza. I'm quite a fan of 4-cheese pizza.
You know, I think pizza needs more than just cheese, but 4-cheese pizza's solid.
I've been told Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, the one you were watching earlier. That's 100% rewatchable. Chicken and bacon. I'm just going off of the chat now. We're just streamers now. There's nothing else. Normally, we're just co-streaming. We're co-streaming the co-stream of the co-stream. But see, normally I would have like so much data and so many things to bring and the history and stuff like that. I have a gum infection right now. I am really not set up to cast all this kind of pause, but we're getting there.
Machine, let's be real, right? If this was a big playoff game, sure, but we know our audience, and we know, hey, it's regular season LPL. Guess what? Games happen every day. A lot of games happen every day. Is now in summer we're gonna have more days. I believe 5 days a week that are gonna be three series days. So we're gonna have a lot of games, and you know what? We know. Up until playoffs, anything can happen. But playoffs, that's when teams are gonna buckle in. But we enjoy the ride up to playoffs because that's where you get all the shenanigans. And why else do you come to LPL than for the shenanigans?
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people asking, can we bring on Cadril? I'm telling you now, the way we've set up the LPL English stream, it's not possible. It would not be possible for us to bring on. I'd love to. I think it'd be very fun, but I don't think it's possible.
He just needs to bring himself on by, like, putting his camera, like, right in the middle of us. And you know what? We can actually have a conversation with him right now and be like, yo, Cadril, so, what kind of games you been playing lately? And then we pause. Cadril responds.
Let's wait.
That was pretty sick, man. I also love that game. Machine, what do you think?
I'm gonna wait for his response. Hang on. I'm gonna see what he goes for. Let's see if we get his response. It's gonna be interesting. I feel like
it actually looks like it sucks we did this now because it actually looks like we're about to end up back in game. This has been silly. This has been fun, and yeah, Let's see if we end up there or if I'm actually just baiting all of us, which might be even better because I love being a lord of chaos.
Oh, are we going back in? Are we going back in? Anarchy? No. Oh, yes. I got a yes from our director. I'm taking that with all the copium in the world. I was a little sad because the FA Cup final is starting in 5 minutes, and the Spanish Grand Prix qualifying is starting in 5 minutes. And I really wanted to watch both of those, so I really think I'm going to miss out on quite a lot of stuff. So,
you know what? We don't care about your needs, Sheen, except I do, because
you texted me the other day, said you missed me. It was very cute.
Yeah, it'd been a while, You over
Hooray!
there. Oh, hey, we're back! We don't have to talk about nothing anymore. Let's go.
My God, League of Legends, I've never been so happy to see you. My God, everyone take a collective sigh of relief. I hope you enjoyed the Last Hit podcast featuring Cadril. And I hope he interacted with us. But now we come back in and we actually have an old hood.
We're very serious here in the LPL, so we get right to it. Look at this. We're back where we started, which is top esports absolutely decimating in this spot lane still. Still no summoners, so it means that Tien, we know, is just going to keep playing heavily around the spot side, right? Trying to set up these opportunities. And now, sadly for Jeja, you kind of just get pulled into the orbit of having to cover for your bot lane and making sure that Jackie Love and Mark don't snowball too much out of control.
Absolutely. You kind of have to stem the bleeding a little bit in that bot side. Otherwise, it's just not going to be the thing. But how can you? Because you're looking at a sheen and a difference. Jackie Love walks up. You can see the red glow on his hands. He knows he wants to go for it. But right now, looking like they might try and get on top of Mark. But this is still risky here. Mako will lose all of his summoners if he's not so careful. They're still going for this dragon. Tien taking an absolute beating. Looking like he may be trying to juke out over the wall. Finally does commit to it. Does he flash back in to get the smite? That is the question. Here we go. There's going to be the Timbers dropping down straight into the action. Leave is dead. The dragon goes over to EDG. Now Fofo looking to see if he can escape this one here. Mark just needs to get out of the vision so he can respawn some of that health bar. Hits a fantastic hook and drags back Mako. One or two more bunks. And yes, you got the dragon EDG, but you lost all the kills.
Exactly. Top esports are going to love this. They can just snowball out of control now. 3K gold lead at 7 minutes. They're going to be in for such a rough time, especially now with even Rookie being huge. He's going to have way more momentum to potentially leave lane now, finishing off that lost chapter. And I get what EDG are, wanting to do here, right? They pick up the dragon, hoping they can be able to escape off the back of this. But then, doing a nice job of repositioning by top esports. And they actually play multiple angles of the fight, right? Mark and Tien going one way, Rookie spirit rushing the opposite, and I believe did connect the charm to make sure that they got that other kill. And now, I don't know, for EDG Asheen, what do you do from this position? 3K gold lead, already a huge Draven. Essence Reaver at 8 minutes.
Yeah. Essence Reaver at 8 minutes was what I was just about to say. I was actually, no, I lied. What I was about to say was, oh, it's good that the Draven didn't get all those kills. It's only assists. But no, he is literally just under double the amount of gold that Leave has. Leave will be able to pick up a little 200, but it's measly. It's tuppence in the grand scheme of the banker that is JackeyLove.
Yeah, and now we're going to see where his build goes from here, right? Because like I said, we've been seeing a lot more Ghostblade in solo queue. Also can just go like standard crit and end up with an IE as your mythic. But with the lack of, I think, frontline, and now like you're actively snowballing, I could definitely see Ghostblade being what makes sense. Now Rift Herald in pocket as well. I'm sure we all know where Tien is going to love to drop that one. Everything going to Sir Daddy JackeyLove down in that bot lane.
That's his official title now, given how this game has kind of gone. But decent damage here from Fofo. Try and make something work. Great charm, but I really feel like that should have went on to Fofo there, rookie. It was a great charm with the JJ, but maybe the target should have been the Annie. So is going to be the Rift Herald picked up, as well as the kind of pressure in that mid lane. And it's just kind of backing themselves away. I mean, Mark can do whatever he wants. He can go where he pleases. He might as well be playing Mundo because he is just no one can contest. Even if they get a full proper engage off of this bot lane, I still think JackeyLove wins in a 2v1.
Yeah, this is Mark's world and we're just all living in it. You know how some people you meet have main character energy? That is definitely Mark in this game, but I guess we're really just going to be keeping our eyes on when Tien makes his way down here, because it would be the most logical place, I think, to give gold over to JackeyLove more. But we might even see JackeyLove and Mark find a kill before that, because Mark has been on point.
Oh my god!
With these hooks.
Just insane to think that he's able to kind of wiggle it around the AD or the support, trying to body block for the AD carry. Just insane. And yeah, I mean, look, if you're wondering about the maths behind the Draven stacks, it is the stacks times 2.5 plus 40 gold. And that is the general sense. So generally speaking, you want to be on about 400 stacks. That's about 1,000 gold. That's generally speaking where you want to be in terms of the maths. I've done it many, many times. So we're already at nearly 200 after we got a couple of kills. So that's just going to get harder and harder to deal with.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm interested to see what his next back's going to be after, getting more farm. Again, you expect the Rift Herald to go down here, but even already be on his way to the next big item purchase. A minute 20 till Drake. EDG might have gotten the first one, but with the gold difference being so skewed, this is where they should come online. But Umbral Glaive picked up by JJ first. So not only going to have, the vision control power behind him, but also at least getting a bit of an early spike just in case any action broke out or if they try to get a gank off.
Looks like they're trying to just hard force something now. And honestly, this is what they need to do. They need to look to try and catch somebody in the Fog of War, get some decent gold into somebody, because it's already a 3,500 gold lead. It's getting towards a 5,000 one. And Mark, it's just too easy for the pike. He rolls over, kind of says, yep, let me just triple check this. I have plenty of mobility. There's no real threat on me. Easy. So it's just hard. It's just very, very hard to see how EDG are able to kind of bring this one back, as we already see on the side of the screen. 200 stacks for JackeyLove. A kill equals the kill gold plus 500.
Yeah, he's going to be huge. Also, I want to praise Rookie for not, getting scared and hovering down towards bot side in that exchange, because that is a common play you see people make, right? Hover down in Fog of War. You wait for Rookie to be scared to be like, oh, I have to go cover my bot lane, move down too, and then bam, mid-jungle waiting in that area, because Rookie is actually one that has a bit of a bounty. Not huge, right? Only 200 gold. But that 200 gold is something that EDG would love to get in their pocket.
It's going to be the Dragon to be fought over next. There is still no boots onto JackeyLove, so definitely a lot slower to make the rotation over. But you can see him just stacking up on this bot side, just getting more and more of those adoration stacks. And it's just hard. Again, I appreciate what EDG are trying to look for, but whether or not they can make it stick is a different story, because I don't even think you can defend this. You don't have the Kazakhstan bot side. You're going to have to leave.
Yeah, if they don't leave, this could be quite punishing. As, again, even just stepping forward to hit this, Mark might be set up in a position where he could try and find another Bone Skewer. They're just going to be content with backing off after the charge. You'd expect them to want to look to start up this Drake, which opens up for JJ to try to look for plays on top side. So we see now entering enemy jungle. I wonder if he's just going to try and take away camps, or if there is an actual opportunity to try and gank this Gragas. The wayward is flash, has explosive cast. He's a lot of tools to survive or deter any plays. So looks like it will just be camps at the end of the day.
Just camps. Dragon goes over. Gold over to JackeyLove. He is a very, very rich man. The banker, as we're going to call him now. And again, 5 deaths all on EDG. And again, it's not been about top side, you know, like Wayward and Allah have just kind of let themselves off to the wayside and said, yeah, we're going to farm, and that's all the way it is. Now that we're past 10 minutes, we do have the Unleashed teleports, but full 5 plates and Turret Gold going over to Jackie Love means that he is going to be 3,000 gold pretty much ahead of his counterpart.
Yeah, he's going to be way up there. And, you know, the gold lead just kind of like slowly expanding as well. We might not have seen any big plays come out over the last few moments. But let's remember that when the gold lead initially was just under 3,000. Now with things like the Rift Herald and even just extending CS leads in lane, taking down that turret, almost making our way up to the 5,000 mark.
We'll wait to see. Again, not really a lot of opportunities, you would imagine, for EDG to get something going. But if they do find it, and they've a lot of engaged. Think about it. You get the anti-tibbers, you get down with the Gnar ultimate, you can pick somebody off with the Moonlight Vigil. Here we go. And that is exactly what you need to be doing. Immediately catching out Mark and getting themselves a kill.
Yeah, so very nice. Instant trigger pull by Fofo. Be able to get that CC down and enabling JJ to be able to get that kill. Nice going to be on someone like your Kha'Zix. Even now, Fofo picking up the Everfrost, so going to have a bit more CC to be able to contend within these fights. Rift Herald about to come up, so I mean, hell, you know, at this point, EDG probably aren't contesting objectives, so it is just going to be looking towards opposite sides of the map.
Yeah. Actually interesting to see Leave. Looks like he's just foregone everything. There's a good flash there. The Everfrost doesn't really land, but a good
huge
charm right onto Leave. Then X marks the spot. Mark took that kill on his life personally.
Seriously, Mark is having such a phenomenal game on this Pike, and it doesn't look like it's gonna stop. Good luck.
Oh, not quite able to get it, but the X doesn't quite hit it there. Mark is having fun, showing out some emotes and everything. Allah almost gets taken out by Jackie Love. And again, I can't blame him because he's got Merc Treads into a full Essence Reaver, nearly an IE, or probably a Bloodthirster.
I mean, right now, he is just like, that Jackie Love damage is even quite surprising in my mind, but I guess Allah doesn't really have any resistances just yet, right? Just now only sitting on that Triforce. Another turret will go down. Rift Herald going to be picked up, and now Fofo wants to find it again, but Rookie
no flash, though.
Has flash.
Yeah, no flash on Fofo, so should be able to kind of get out of this one here, you would imagine. Good charm into Everfrost means that he's able to keep his flash. No need to kind of contest it right now. Tien going to get dropped on. This is exactly what JJ needs to be going for. He needs to be going for isolated 1v1s. Get that claw damage down as best as he possibly can before he really kind of has any chance of, you know, fighting up against this Draven.
Gonna go right into the replay of what happened to mid. I mean, looking for it, right? Really nice by Mark. They force out the flash, but then still, Rookie, such a perfect charm being able to go on there, connect that one right into the resets for Pike. I even love the face on the coaching staff of Top Esports.
Allah's dead.
Allah is dead.
Will eventually go down. Wayward waited for enough time and then took enough damage and said, "That's it. I'm having this kill for myself." 8-1, 6,000 gold lead. I mean, this game is as good as done now as Top Esports just kind of need to bring it home. That's basically it. I mean, that's 16, 17 minutes. They just have full control of the map.
Yeah, and at this point, just waiting for, honestly, an objective large enough to where you really can, like, snowball this even further, right? Because they're going to get to a point where they're going one by one, taking down all the outer turrets. The mid one's the last one to go through. Then after that, breaking inner turrets can be quite hard unless EDG side laners keep overextending and you're getting those free picks. So it'll either take, like, EDG fighting a dragon around, like, 20 minutes, you turn that into a Baron, or if Top Esports try to force that themselves. But so far, doing a nice job of proactively looking for these picks.
JJ gonna have to realize that that monkey is not alone. He's got a couple of friends with him in that thing, a fox and I don't know what Pike is, to be honest with you. He's just a drowned man. But again, just so difficult to see how EDG can really come back out of this. And look, this is like kind of part and parcel of the game. You get the reset in, they called for the pause, but then, you know, about holding the mental, I suppose, after such a long pause. I wouldn't be surprised if we were talking, you know, nonsense for a good 30 minutes there, just because of how crazy long that took just to kind of determine the bug, get the chrono break in, and then bring it back into this game.
I got to be honest, Sheen, it felt like hours, but we got an answer to one question.
Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Jackie Love has got the Gale Force build, which isn't as common as the other two I mentioned, of where, again, like, he spent a lot of Ghost Blade or IE, valuing some of the mobility, you know, the bit of the execute that comes out at the end and being able to close that distance. I love that, being able to run people down.
I mean, they're going to have to try. Yeah, I know. I mean, what do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to talk about?
You know,
there's nothing there.
I like how you cleverly use space and, you know, the dead air for a little bit of dramatic tension, but it's leaving me in suspense.
Yeah, well, it is one of those things we always find that space is great when you're physically beside the caster and can see they're actively not talking, not afraid that they've disconnected and you just don't have a co-caster. Slightly different scenario, but Wayward should be able to clear himself up on this top side, as he knows that he was on the weak side while they were taking the dragon, and they backed themselves away fairly easily.
And now top esports are at that point where I talked about, where it's like, okay, it gets a little bit more awkward. All the outer turrets are already down. Luckily for them, having second Rift Herald means they'll be able to at least potentially break down an inner turret. And if you could try to turn that push into a dive, that could be the way for top TS to even, you know, get a further snowball. But 7k gold lead. Oh, Fofo though.
Yeah, they're going to look to try and see if they can jump on the Jackie Love, kill him off as best they possibly can. But the Gale Force is not enough to keep Jackie Love alive. Ala gets himself the kill. And this is a 3v4 in favor of EDG. They've committed numbers and they still have leave.
Not going to be able to find anything more, but still getting one kill, finally being able to take down one of the raid bosses is going to be quite nice. It does give Wayward some free time up in topside. But luckily for the side of EDG, he's a Gragas. He's going to be, like, whittling down these turrets all too quickly.
They look like they don't want to let him out of this one here either. They're going to flash in. Ala, no! They had a word on you, and they went over the wall. Your TP shall be wasted. Wayward shall get away scot-free, and you shall lose your life.
That's great, right? Because, yeah, the big thing it means is not only you to kill, you let Wayward not get TP flanked there. Also, back to items. Somehow Jackie Love has once again finished another full item. Picking up rapid fire cannon. So we get to see here TP flank coming out from Fofo, and they realize, right, they're going to need to sacrifice in one area to overload another side of the map. Everything thrown on to Jackie Love. Nice flash and cleanse to be able to escape, but that is so big. Coming out. I was
wondering where they hit. Yeah, I was like, where did the damage come from? He looked fine. I guess there, the execution from the adoration as well.
Yeah, so I don't believe. I guess I don't know. I don't know if he had a bounty on his head or not. Jackie Love.
One more auto attack would have definitely taken him out, but not quite in range for it. And again, this is going to be Kha'Zix's job. Find people isolated, kill them.
Yeah, and in that moment, Jackie Love was, I think, respecting the fog of war, right? Because he could have potentially just kept running Jidja down, but knowing, hey, we don't, like, there's more people on this side of the map. Nar showing and bot. This is where EDG's main forces are going to be.
Do they go for a bit of a sneaky Baron? It would be very risky to try and go for it. It's not very sneaky either. They're right in front of everybody's face, and there's Rookie just hovering to the side, making sure that everybody is keeping themselves honest. Ala looking to try and be a nuisance here into Wayward, and should be just fine to kind of CC or sustain even on this bot side, collecting those minions.
Oh, Ala. This feels a lot like last game, where he was just getting targeted. At least he does survive this time around, but not enough. And what a game. What a game to be at 8K at 21 minutes. Arm goes wide.
And they might look to see if they can catch somebody. If it was just the Ahri, they might have committed the quickness there, but it was the Ahri and the Wukong, so they didn't want to go fully in on top of that there. So, and I tell you, interesting, we can have a little bit of theory crafting. I'm seeing it a lot here in the LPL, even though it's only the first week, is that when AD carries, specifically obviously the Jinx and the Aphelios, go behind, they just kind of forego the Stormrazers completely and say, look, we're going to Uber scaling, we're going to go towards the Kraken Slayer. And that seems to be like the general move from a lot of AD carries, is that we don't need to go for the Stormrazer anymore. We might as well go full for the late game.
Yeah, it's something I wonder, like, how the math adds up on it, right? Because, again, the difference being kind of Kraken Slayer is more onto, like, continuously hitting a target, and that's where a lot of that damage comes from with every few hits. So, but I wonder if it'd even be more worthwhile to just go straight towards your Mythic first and be like, hey, okay, we're not going to go this route as Mako. Luckily,
that
does
time he got
escape.
over the wall.
Oh, but here we go. This is one thing about top esports composition, right? Is it, again, the awkward phase once you get past the outer turrets. There's really no way to push the game forward other than trying to bring EDG into you.
I mean, Leaves nowhere near this, and you have a TP on Wayward, but you do not have one on Alas. This is an unanswerable TP, but what's happened on the backside is that Rookie's just completely caught out. Nobody gets killed on the side of EDG and top esports. They have to go back towards the Baron with a man down. Look at the Gnar. Ala doesn't need to leave because he knows that he hasn't got a chance of making it up here anyway.
And once again, you have to wonder, how does this stuff keep happening for TES? Every game, just like unfortunate circumstances that, like, that could have been the game right there. That could have been it, where top esports sealed the deal. But now, we were at 8K at one point, I believe, and now we're down to closer to 5?
Yeah, about 5.5. Now, it will be another Dragon. It will put them on Soul Point, but it's a Cloud Soul, not the greatest in the world in terms of accelerating the game. And this game isn't done yet. It looks like this series still has a ting or two to show us in this particular thing. There was a TP going very deep in the mid lane. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that, but yes, we are. We should probably go back to live because they've caught out the Aphelios. That was an unfortunate replay, but a good TP from Rookie to get him right behind enemy lines, and now they can look to try and go for this Baron again, but JJ's behind the play. He is being spotted out, and they know exactly where he is. They don't want to start this. They don't want to flip it. Ala's close to his Mega.
And I think for EDG as well, you're waiting for the Tibbers to come out for Fofo. JJ luckily gets away from the Cyclone.
Love the Tibbers will be up in a couple of seconds, and then maybe go for it. No flash, no heal on Leave, and top esports not able to go for the objective. So you see it here, just a very simple TP ward. Gets him caught out and gets him killed. I love how they highlighted the wrong ward.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering how that would be impactful, but
I was like, I don't think it was that ward, but it was definitely a ward behind them.
Roast the observers, huh? You know what? You know what though?
I don't roast the observers. I just highlight things.
I do, kind of live by, if you're gonna dish it out, you gotta be able to take it. The observers show a lot of pretty in plays by players that like slow them down and zoom in on them. So if they're gonna banter, you gotta be able to take some banter as well.
I agree with that. I think it's definitely something you're going to show every -1 kind of minion. You got to be able to throw it back at you a little bit. As Ala just kind of dealing with Wayward. And this is the thing. Ala's picked the Gnar into the Gragas way back when we had Champ Select for this game. And it's kind of becoming a thing now where it's like, this is the reason why. The Gragas, even though he's building full damage, doesn't really have kill threat. With the Hull Breaker available for Ala, it makes it so difficult for Wayward to have kind of any presence here. But with Rookie roaming down, maybe they look to try and burn him down just as he's turning into Mini. They're bringing down Mark as well. Ala knows he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. He has nowhere to go, and the only place he can go is the Shadow Realm. He flashes, he dashes. A little hop and a skip and a jump. He's trying to turn it back, but a good explosive cast means that X marks the spot. Mark gets himself another kill, but now they know there's 3 people bot side. Tien has to flash away as the quickness was coming in for his life. And this game's getting very scrappy all of a sudden.
It is. Like, top esports have gotten cold feet. They haven't felt as comfortable trying to push into that top side jungle for deeper vision. They really strayed away from that from the past few minutes. Been trying to find a pick around top side turret, commit a little bit more. And it's giving EDG these opportunities to potentially look for another engage around mid. Wait, what?
And we're waiting. Wait, what? What happened? Where?
Mark somehow just died around outer turret in mid. I don't even know how JJ himself got there.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
And this is, again, the game getting very just not as clean as we wanted to see.
Top esports don't lose this game, do they?
I mean, I see a world where they do. I had them at 12th in my power rankings. Oh, no, I had them at 7th. I had them at 7th.
Oh,
never mind.
12 is pretty low as we get to see how walking over a ward, JJ happened to be in the area in River and easily able to follow up. So now you're getting to a point where this Kha'Zix has to be respected, right? Sitting on, making his way towards that Sorelda's Grudge, having the Eclipse online. Doesn't matter how big Jackie Love and Rookie are in terms of damage items. They are still squishy carries that will go down to an assassin.
They will get blown up by this Kha'Zix if he gets on top of them. And you even have the Void Staff and the Shadow Flame here for Fofo. So they know their job. Their job is not to out-sustain a fight. It's to blow somebody up like this. If they can look for a 2-man Tibbers, and Tien is dead. Oh, top esports. It was all going so well, but what's happening? You're crumbling.
And it's even just like skipping basics, right? Like you have top wave pushed out, no one's showing. You haven't once again re-pushed out mid, no one's showing there, so you know they're on the top side. Nara's pushing wave bot. And, just actions like this where, honestly, despite the fact that top esports are 5k gold in the lead, for the past 5 minutes, it feels like EDG have been the ones in control of the game.
I mean, EDG have gotten all of the objectives. They've gotten 2 towers on the bot side. They've been able to now gain a 20 CS lead for Allah in that lane. And the fact that he's got that hull breaker means, and now the wit's end, like, you have to send a damage dealer now to deal with him. And I don't think if you send the Gragas and the Ari, it's going to be enough.
No, I don't, and I don't even feel like that's what you should be looking to do, because when you actually pick off the star, it doesn't turn into all too much. Now it might be more than before, because you at least have TP on your soul laners, so you'd be able to TP them up to Baron. But other than that, it's like, what are you going to do by picking off Allah? You're never going to really push in that lane and do anything meaningful. So EDG now looks like they're the ones feeling more confident to try to aggress their way in and keep, controlling vision in this quadrant of the jungle.
Jackie Love is still 2 levels ahead. Jackie Love is still 2 items ahead. I'm not going to get ahead of myself for the moment, but the thing is that EDG have done so exceptionally well is that EDG have just not fought around Jackie Love. They've just moved away from him, said, look, that's fine. You can be as fed as you like to be. You can have a GA, Second Life, whatever you want. It doesn't matter, because we are going to be able to just avoid you around the map, and it's exactly what they've done. Dragon has spawned. That would be Soul here for top esports, but again, I don't think EDG really care.
Now it seems like EDG are still just fine, as we see the observers highlighting over Allah right now in sides. Especially because when you think about EDG and the play pattern they're looking for this game, right? It's been picks. It's been, abusing vision denial and then waiting for Fofo plus JJ to just be able to instantly burst someone out, and then relying on, like, okay, top esports are not going to back off because we have numbers, and take objectives through that way.
Upgraded Q, upgraded spikes. Rookie trying to see if he can find someone on a flank. Level 16 now, so he'll have fairly decent cooldown on that ultimate. Should be able to pick up this tower without any real contention. They finally get themselves something in this. Allah is very happy to take these trades, because even in the sustain war, he's winning.
Yeah, he's just fine up there, right? Again, for Wayward, it's going to be more about 5v5s, but top esports, again, I'm more surprised that they're not more proactively trying. They did get bot wave in order, so that's like one step done. Now bring Rookie into the fold and try to reclaim some of this vision. You might even have to wait for Wayward to join in, but EDG, they're going to let them wait. They're just going to start Baron right now.
They're going to start Baron and try and bait them in. They know the Scryers is down, so they know that it's not being taken, but EDG haven't really figured that one out yet, so now they recognize that they've been caught out. They don't have the exact kind of trap that they were hoping for, and EDG should be able to kind of back themselves away. And I do believe, as much as you said the bot lane was in order, it looks like it might be pushing in favor of EDG for the moment.
And I want to see what... I mean, the wave's going to hit now, so it's going to be fine. Top esports, I mean, they really need to start even just getting, like, shallow vision, right? Even just vision, like, right over the pit wall, which EDG, of course, will be able to reclaim, but then even just spotting them out in those moments and trying to create an avenue for Mark to be able to hook someone. But now, I mean, JJ, especially with having the magic shield.
TN is going to be spotted, though. They know he's there. They know he's there. They're going to turn back on top of him and try and burst him out before he can get any real damage. Fofo will be taken out. 99999 comes out across our screens, but TN is still alive, as he was the perfect distraction. Both TP from the Allah was used, as well as a flash from Fofo. It didn't save his life, and now, top esports, you have to look for something. It's difficult, but you got to push.
Yeah, they're going to have to... I mean, they have to do something off this, right? Maybe wait for Mega to time out and then try to bring them onto the Baron and try to force a turn that way. You still have the explosive cast, but not a whole lot other than that. Still, I feel like Fofo was like the main dissuader of them being able to walk into EDG's jungle and be able to get vision, because his Tibbers was the real thing setting up for the burst to come out from JJ.
Well, they're looking for the Baron. It's getting taken very, very low. They're going to try and jump onto Rookie. JJ does not have the jump now available to him, and he is going to die. Draven secures the Baron, and top esports may have found themselves a way of securing this game.
This may have taken 10 minutes longer than it's needed to, but it's good. The top esports have finally gotten it under control. Nice by Wayward as well, going out, at the exact right instant to be able to lock JJ down. And now, with Baron buff, they can actually start threatening the base. They can start trying to break down those inhibitor turrets and really opening up this game. And hell, they've even had Soul for quite a while now, right? So TS, where can they bring us now that we have a full build Jackie Love?
Full build, 3 items though on the Aphelios, and a hell of a lot of damage on him. Bloodthirster with the Gale Force and the Kraken means that he can shred through someone if they go a little bit too close to the sun. Jackie Love has got to be the big moment here, Mark. Ooh, okay. Not quite able to get caught out there. The Tibbers will end up being felled. Nothing really else outside of that invested, because level 16 Fofo, that Annie Tibbers, as you can see on your right-hand side of the screen, it's coming back real quick.
Yeah, not the longest cooldown in the world, and you can see the top Esports realize Fofo is a member they need to respect. He's definitely the biggest threat on the side of EDG. Now they're going to try and use these Baroned up minions to finally start breaking down the base. Oh,
Ali's not here. Ali's not here. Ala was off of bot lane. They weren't expecting such decisiveness, and now you can start to get the resets in. The pipe with Mark. They've done it, and the curse for EDG, but the blessings for Top Esports shall continue. It's been since the 23rd of March, 2019, the last time EDG were able to beat Top Esports in the regular split, and that ain't changing today.
2 games in a row, Top Esports made us all worry. They almost gave us heart attacks, tons of anxiety and stress. But just like Game 2, it might not be the most convincing, though a lot more convincing in this game. Still, it was dirty, but they got it done. You're happy for TES, especially bringing out the Drave and leaning in on the signature pick of Jackie Love. And showing that, you know, with Pyke Draven, they are still a duo to be feared. And again, it's not as dire as it seems. But it's weird, Shane, because I don't feel confident nor scared for TES, because I feel kind of both. I'm like confident that they can do well,
scared.
and I'm scared that they're also gonna not do well. And it's just they are the sprint marathon. They are the sprint marathon of teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I am picking up what you're putting down, but it does feel like, look, at the end of the day, especially the day we've had, especially the day you've had, a win is a win is a win. So they, for Top Esports and Top Esports fans alike, that is it. And look, we'll see what they're able to kind of do. They had a bit of a rough start. They now bring themselves up into a much stronger position now, kind of ending this week 1-1. And yes, it was scrappy. They almost didn't win that game number 2. It could have went to a 2-0 EDG, but it didn't. At the end of the day, results matter. Top Esports, they still have a lot to work on, but they are getting there.
Yeah, they're getting there. And again, they still show that they have like nice, what even be the word? It's like they're clever, right? They have like ideas of how to try to set up some plays. They might not be the smartest in terms of like the macro and being able to force the game forward, but they're clever about like small plays to find small advantages that might not be expected. So that's kind of one area I've always liked about TS. We know that their like mechanical ability and like their laning skill is there. Wayward, especially, I think, being someone who surprised me this series, because I already knew Jackie Love was great. You already know, rookie's a goat in the mid lane. But Wayward was the person who, again, even when he had all the fanfare and he was solo killing left and right, he wasn't necessarily this, like, big, I'm going to gap you in lane guy. And it felt like he really came in and had a solid series in this game against Ala.
Yeah, genuinely did. And I think that there's still, again, it's the weird Top Esports setup where it's like, I know that this team is good. I know that these players individually can pop off. Mark having an exceptional game on the Pyke. Jackie Love bathing in the gold that was gifted to him and being able to kind of bring out a lot of that kind of pressure. It just feels like, I don't know, I'm scared. I'm scared because I saw it in spring. I remember at spring split, we came into the season, I said, JDG, Top Esports, the 2 super teams, these are the teams that are going to be vying for top 2. I was right with JDG. I was not right with Top Esports. Now with Top Esports kind of coming into this split, they are still looking a bit scrappy, a little bit rough around the edges, but I know that there's still that quality in them. I just don't want to get baited again.
I feel like it's also interesting, right? Because I didn't feel like TS quite fit the moniker of super team because you have Wayward and Mark who really don't have that level of acclaim. But it's also cool to see when Wayward's had a good series overall. Mark, this game, had an exceptional game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Mark picked up the MVP because, my God, seriously, hooks left and right. And it's like, yeah, especially if those two can keep developing, it'll be good. But it still feels like both the good thing and bad thing about Top Esports in their scrappy style is a very like systemic issue that we've seen over multiple different rosters. And it makes you wonder if like, are they maybe limited by continuing the style, right? Like, I feel like they can definitely hit highs by doing this, but you're going to need those stars to align perfectly. So when you have someone like Tien saying something as confusing as, hey, we just got to play our style, but I also want to be flexible and be able to play many styles. That statement made no sense, but Tien said it. So it's like, yeah, where are TES going to go?
That's it. I think that's the best way to put it, is that you're just not really into, knowing where this top esports team lands. And again, it should be very high, but we just can't put that in. For EDG, I mean, I'm still very high hopes on this team. They almost brought it back in this game despite being so far down. They really probably should have gained it at a 2-0, kind of straight away, but it wasn't to be. And again, there's still lots of little things that are going right for this team, and it does feel like this is a new roster of EDG that's still able to kind of hit the high highs, and will, unfortunately, TES is just a bogey side for them. Jackie loves in Mako's head. I don't know why. It's just the way it is, but, it is. Actually, I'd be so curious to see if Mako's ever beaten Jackie Love across all rosters. Ooh, that'd be such an interesting stat to look into, but I'll have a look for that for the next time they play. But we are going to send it over to Christina, who's standing by with the victorious Wayward.
Hello there, welcome to post-game interview. I'm Christina. We're joined by Weyward, the top laner for Top Esports. Congratulations on getting your very first win of Summer Split. My first question is about the matchups between the EDG and Top Esports, because we know that Top Esports have took down a majority of games in recent splits. So did you realize this record before this matchup, and how does it feel to be able to win this matchup with a very dominant reverse sweep? 欢迎 Weyward 的选手来到我们的赛后采访，恭喜滔博今天拿下了夏季赛的首胜。其实有关于 EDG 和滔博的对局，在过去的几个接近的赛季当中，滔博是赢下了绝大部分的对局。Weyward 选手在赛前有没有关注到这一个记录？然后觉得今天拿下首胜，而且是以一个这样让1追2的方式，感觉怎么样呢？
这个记录就是我是有关注的嘛，然后我觉得我们打他们就感觉有点玄学，就是不管怎么样的逆风都能拿下，然后 顺风也是直接拿下，然后首胜的话，我就觉得这对于我们来说真的是太棒了。然后，因为我们已经很久没有感受到赢的就是胜利的快感，就是一个字爽。
Firstly, in terms of the matchups between EDG and Top Esports, I do know the record before the matchups. Maybe it's I can't explain by serious science, because it's a little bit like the metaphysics. Even though we fall behind, we always can take down the match between the Top Esports and EDG. So when we get smoothly, we already have known that maybe we will know this matchup. In terms of getting the very first win for the summer split, it's been a long time since last time we feel and taste the winning feeling, and I just want to say it feels pretty good in the world. Amazing and brilliant. So next question, I want to touch on your own performance on K'Sante. You got most valuable player, and you did a really great job in laning phase, but also you had a great impact on the whole game. So how would you rate your performance in Game 2 on K'Sante? 那么第二局的我们这边 Weyward 的选手用 K'Sante 拿到了 MVP， 在线上有很出色的表现，并且对全局都有一个很好的影响，可以说是几乎是掌控了节奏。Weyward 的选手怎么评价自己第二局K'Sante的发挥？
第二局的话，我觉得是正常发挥，就是怎么说呢，就有点得心应手的感觉吧。
Actually, I just think I performed normally because it feels like pretty good, and I performed very well on it on this champ. So still in Game 2, I know that Top Esports got ahead in mid to late game, but EDG managed to come back. They secured the Baron. They destroyed your inner inhibitor. So how did you guys manage to defend your base and also take down the Elder Dragon in the very late game for you, which is really important? 那么其实，在第二局的时候，还是说到第二局，有一波虽然滔博在中后期几乎一直是领先，但是有一波 EDG 那波拿下了大龙之后，他们推掉了门牙塔，在这边只剩一个水晶基地的时候，滔博这一边是怎么样去平衡守家，然后还拿到了那条非常关键的远古龙团呢？
第二局就剩水晶之后，就是我们一直等水晶复活就好，然后后面就是让他们去抢远古龙，然后我一个人守住他们就可以。
So when we only had the one Nexus with no inhibitor, we just wait for our inhibitor respawn and just let my teammates go for the elder team fight, and I just stand on the mid lane to defend our base. And the final question is about Game3. Who decided the Driven and Pike as a body? Because it is exactly what we want to see, and we know that J Club is signature Driven champions. But I'm curious about this body. Is that because your body's suggestion, or your coach decided what kind of things? Want to touch on a little bit on this part. 那么最后一个问题，在第3局的时候，我们可以看到下路选出了德莱文和派克这个组合。对于很多观众来讲，这就是我们想看到的非常刺激的这样的选项和阵容。我们也知道，J Club 选手玩德莱文玩得很好嘛。想问一下，最后下路选出这样一个组合，是团队内的一个整体的决策，还是出于什么样的考虑呢？
当时选派克德莱文的话，就是我们选到4、5楼的时候，就把所有辅助都搬掉，然后后面有没有就是什么好的下路组合，然后我们就选就是强硬一点的，就是强一点的，然后把他们下路干爆。
When coming to the 4th and 5th bans, actually there is no very good support or AD champions available because we and our opponent have banned a lot of balling champions. So we just want to pick some strong comps on balling. So we just pick Driven and Pike. Oh, such an incredible game. Thank you so much for joining me, Weyward. 谢谢 Weyward 来到我们的赛后采访。Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Christina and Wayward. I love that little bit at the end. Look, they pigeonholed us. They gave us no choice. We had